Hey there folks, Meteorologist Hunter McCullough here for Northern News Now on this Monday here on Beyond the Forecast. I'm going to start doing this sort of thing every Monday. I think I'm going to be talking more about what's coming up in the week. I'll talk more in the video about this as well, but as far as in depth, going more in depth about what exactly is going to be coming up into this week when it comes to the forecast and what our thinking is, what our thoughts are as meteorologists, and why we're coming to those conclusions. So I thought it might be interesting to take a look at this week ahead and talk more about that and exactly what's coming into this week. There's a lot going on, even though it is semi-boring this week when it comes to our weather, no major systems or anything like that. There's still a lot going on, and so let's talk more about what exactly that is here on today's episode. Enjoy. Hey there folks, happy Monday. Meteorologist Hunter McCullough here for Northern News Now. I think for this show, I'm going to start to do on Mondays a more in-depth look at what's coming in the week ahead, depending on what's going on. If there's something else big going on, I'll probably end up talking about that. But for this week, I do want to take a look at exactly what's going on this week, some temperatures that are going to be happening this week as well. So this might be a trend that I start doing on Mondays, just going more in depth about what to expect in your week ahead, what's going in our minds here when we're talking about forecasting and what we're expecting as meteorologists into this week ahead. So these are kind of the three weather details when it comes to what's exactly going to be happening this week. You already feel it outside. Fall-like temperatures return. Frost also returns. Maybe even a widespread freeze, and I'll be talking about that in just a little bit, and minimal chances for rainfall. Still kind of more of the same minus the hot temperatures. Now we're seeing the cooler temperatures moving in. I'll tell you what, I was at Cranberry Fest over in Stone Lake on Saturday it was, and it was hot. I was dripping sweat walking around. It was windy, but it was in the 80s for sure. It was crazy weather this past weekend, just crazy beautiful. Definitely unseasonably warm for this month here in the early parts of October. Anyway, first off, let's talk a little bit about fall colors, because we did mention that a lot of this is probably going to be falling. The leaves are going to be falling this past weekend from those strong wind gusts. The highest wind gusts that we saw over the weekend were in the 50-mile-per-hour range, and that was up towards Grand Marais. But everywhere got into like the 40-mile-per-hour range for the most part, especially near the lake. So a lot of those leaves did fall off the trees. A few areas now more are in the past peak zone, and that's mainly up in northern Minnesota. Here in the Twin Ports, we're still at 50 to 75%, 25 to 50% off in northwest Wisconsin. Everyone, for the most part, still on track when it comes to those fall colors, but a lot of areas in northern Minnesota, well, now you're past peak. A lot of those leaves did fall off the trees this past weekend. Temperature-wise into the next couple of days, expecting those temperatures to be very fall-like. This is where we should be for this time of year. We've been pretty lucky, depending on how you look at it, with these really warm temperatures these past couple of weeks. And now we're going to kind of get a real dosage of fall for at least the next couple of days. I love this kind of weather. This is absolutely beautiful for me. Definitely love the sweatshirt kind of weather. You go outside, you need a sweatshirt. And we're seeing these temperatures into the 50s today. Some areas even struggling to get out of the 40s up towards International Falls or Ely, those northern portions of the region. Some areas getting close to 60 down to the south. Tuesday, we see those temperatures even a little bit cooler. Most areas in the mid to low 50s, depending on where you are. And now we start to climb again towards the end of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fall-like. Then we start to see some more 60s creeping back into the Northland, which is still kind of fall-like, but some more 50s and 60s into our Wednesday. It is going to be cold into many of these mornings, so I want to talk more about that, just how cold it's going to be. Tonight, we're expecting to see some frost. Tomorrow night, that's the really cold night. So let's talk here about this. Tuesday night's forecast, some of the coldest temperatures that we've seen so far this season. Some areas getting down into the teens. Hibbing, Ely likely getting into the upper teens. If International Falls is going to get close, we're going to get real close to getting some frost here in Duluth. So definitely tonight, if you live away from the lake, you're going to want to cover your plants if you want them to live a little bit longer. But especially Tuesday night, everywhere around the Northland, you're going to want to make sure to cover those plants if you do want them to last a little bit longer into the season. Still could get a couple weeks, maybe squeeze a couple weeks out of the growing season here. So widespread frost expected Tuesday night, and even possibly a widespread freeze. I would not be surprised to see a freeze warning in effect for the Northland into our evening, which is what they issue, the National Weather Service, when we're still technically in the growing season. So we'll see what happens there. Not really a different story in northwest Wisconsin. Most areas getting into the 20s Tuesday evening, early Wednesday. Maybe a couple teens, but it's a little further down to the south in northwest Wisconsin, so tougher to get quite as cold as some areas in northern Minnesota, especially those low-lying areas up in northern Minnesota. But Hayward will get close, 22 degrees, 26 in Spooner, 23. Superior also always kind of a cold, cooler spot, even though that's kind of close to Lake Superior. It's in a low-lying area that's far enough away from the lake, the airport anyway, to see some cool temperatures. Winds are going to be relatively light as well. So again, who's likely to see frost the next couple of days? Tomorrow morning, inland away from Lake Superior. If you want to be safe, you live near the lake, you might want to cover your plants just in case. But especially inland, we'll likely see some kind of frost advisory. Wednesday morning, everywhere, we'll be seeing frost and possibly a freeze. Thursday morning, same story as tonight, inland away from Lake Superior. Now the third part I mentioned in that forecast here is minimal chances for some rain showers. Thursday we're going to see a chance. I really don't think we'll see much rain at all if we do see any on Thursday. Sunday also a minor chance. It's so far away at this point that we're keeping it kind of low. That may increase though as we get towards the end of the weekend, so we're going to be watching that. Also notice the temperatures starting off again very fall-like. Coolest day is Tuesday and Tuesday night, and then we do see those temperatures increasing throughout the rest of the week into the weekend. At this time it's looking like a decent weekend, except for that chance for rain at the end of the weekend into our Sunday. So watching that as well, but 65 for a high on Saturday, breezy conditions and mostly sunny conditions as well. In the meantime, enjoy those fall colors. Make sure to cover those plants if you do want those plants to last a little bit longer here into the growing season. And I hope you have a fantastic week here ahead.